were unable to do it. Maybe now they have done it, although it is 10-4. Friday night in this series, the Blue Jays scored 6 runs in the last 3 innings. And then yesterday they scored 5 runs in the 9th inning alone. So, which brings up the other point, which was the Red Sox playing the infield in with the score 9-4 in a double play situation with Olerud up there. And Olerud hit what could well have been a double play ball to end this inning. And again, explore the mind of Joe Morgan. Please, Joe Morgan, and tell me what Joe Morgan was thinking.
Well, he was trying to keep them from scoring one more run, but if you play the infield halfway, that would have been a double play. But every manager chooses to take his poison in a different manner.
Here's Borders. And of course, when we speak now, having watched what Olerud did, I mean, we have that advantage. We know what Olerud did, but that's the reason we're playing it back in case he does that.
You have a chance to get out with facing one hitter, you take it instead of facing 2 as they have to do here.
Plus, increasing the opportunity. There's a double play ball by Borders, and they get the double play, 6-4 to 3. And Daryl Irvine is the man who gets it. All right, and here we are into the top of the 8th inning. And it is 10-5, Toronto ahead for the Red Sox. Changes now in the middle of the infield. Marty Barrett, the veteran second baseman, comes on. He'll hit 9th in the order. And Jody Reed moves from second base over to shortstop. And Manny Lee will lead it off for the Blue Jays. He's walked, singled twice, and flied out to deep right center. 2 for 3. Reed doing some landscaping over at shortstop. 18 hits for the Blue Jays. It's been an offensive feast for the Toronto hitters. Everybody's average goes up. Strike 1. Well, right down the order. Mookie Wilson, 2 for 4. Fernandez, 3 for 4. Gruber is 0 for 2, but he's been on base 4 times with he scored 3 runs. That's a ball. Then McGriff, 4 for 5, 3 batted in. George Bell, 3 for 5, 2 batted in. Olerud, 2 for 4. Myers and Borders, the 2 catchers, have gone 0 for 5. Then Manny Lee, 2 for 3. And the man on deck, Junior Felix, 2 for 4. Strike 2 to Manny Lee. 1 ball and 2 strikes. They turned the lights on at Fenway Park now with the overcast. The wind still blowing hard out toward left field. See, it's turned into a gray New England day. Way outside from Daryl Irvine, the 5th Boston pitcher. Gray, his predecessor, went 1/3 of an inning, gave up 1 run, and it was an unearned run. Gave up 2 hits. For that, Gardner, 1 2/3 innings, 2 runs. Hesketh gave up 3, and Harris gave up 4. Foul ball.
When you look at it, really none of the Red Sox pitchers have been that effective today.
Except for this guy, Irvin. He's been incredible.
Yeah, for 1/3 of an inning. Well, he had a double play, so 2/3 of an inning.
He's only faced 1 guy, and he's pitched 2/3 of shutout baseball. Team record today. That's a foul ball. 2-2. Irvin is from Harrisonburg, Virginia. Still lives in Virginia. He was the Red Sox first-round pick in the secondary phase of the January '85 draft. He is 25 years of age, 6 feet 3 inches tall. Foul ball, 2-2. He's been up from Pawtucket 3 different times this year. They brought him up in April, again in August, and then again when the rosters expanded in September. Daryl Irvine. Boston bench rather quiet today. There's been no celebrating over there. These last 2 days they've been doing nothing but celebrating. Back goes Burks. He's got plenty of room, and there is 1 away. In the 8th, 10-5, Toronto ahead. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Major League Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of Major League Baseball. So pull up a chair and listen to John and Joe. Let's go back to Fenway. Marvelous work, guys. Wow. Who was that, Joe?
Probably the most recognizable voice in broadcast, introducing the two of us.
Here's Junior Felix, the switch hitting. So I got stuck there for just a second. Switch hitting right fielder, ball one. He homered in the 5th, flied out his last time. Junior had an interesting method of getting out of the way of that fastball.
That was interesting, wasn't it? Watch this. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. But there are a lot of things in this game today I haven't seen before. So, very interesting ball game.
Hoping never to see them again.
Right.
Down the left field line. And foul back in amongst the spectators.
I know the Toronto Blue Jays are hoping not to see some of those things again, like missing cutoff men and not taking the extra base when it's there.
Gene Tennis, Cito Gaston, the brain trust of the Blue Jays. Joe Morgan.
The lone brain trust, right? He's by himself.
That's a strike. Well, when you win together. When you lose, that's all the manager's for. 1-2 to Junior Felix. Well, we talked about Morgan doing some things for which he's been getting second guess. We've done the same here today, some of his strategies,
yes.
But by the same token.
But that's what baseball is all about. There's always more than one way to do it.
Remember all the second guessing Don Zimmer got in the playoffs last year against the Giants when his offbeat moves didn't work. But he'd made those moves all year. And when they work, looks great. He left Jeff Stone up there to hit, who had not batted since he was in the minor leagues, had not batted in the big leagues the whole year. And he had experienced people on the bench, but he left him in, and Stone got the winning hit.
And if Stone would have made an out, they would have second-guessed him then, too.
They might have taken him out and might have lynched him.
But that's what baseball is all about. And any manager that, can't take second-guessing, I guess, is always going to have a problem.
Greenwell. And that's the second out of the inning. 2 down to the 8th before Mookie Wilson steps in. Let's go to Bill Patrick for an update.
All right, John, in St. Louis, the Pirates are on the verge. The pitch to Tom Pagnozzi, ripped to first base. Sid Bream flags it down over to Doug Drabeck, who has a 3-hitter through 8 innings. The Pirates lead 2-0. We will get you out to St. Louis for the last inning of that game as the Pirates try to clinch. John and Joe.
Sounds like the Pirates might be celebrating before they get home to face the Mets tomorrow.
Maybe.
It's just the way they'd like it, too.
Yeah.
Here is Mookie Wilson, 2 for 4 with a sacrifice fly, 2 runs scored. He's had a hand in 3 runs. Ball 1, 2 down, nobody out in the 8th inning. Toronto 10, Boston 5. And in the Toronto bullpen, Tom Henke is warming up.
I'm sure if the Pirates win today, they'd probably like to call the Mets and say, don't bother. You don't have to show up now. Just stay home. We'll stay home.
Sure, the Mets would just as soon not show up if they're out of it. 2-0 to Mookie. Daryl Irvine to the plate. Through the middle, base hit. That is the 19th hit for the Toronto Blue Jays. We're going to have to get the Blue Jays record book out here.
Playing on AstroTurf as they have done throughout their career, I think they would have more than 19 hits a couple of times.
Well, you know what the all-time record is for the Blue Jays?
22.
No, that's close, but I'm sorry. The actual correct figure is 24. And they did it.
I forgot the 2 infield hits.
That's right. You thought they should have been called errors. Well, they got 24 hits. In 1978, it was only the second year of their history against Baltimore, which had some of the best pitching around. Fernandez, this will be fielded by Barrett. Over to Quintana. The side retired. It's the first time they've retired Fernandez since the first inning. He'd had 3 hits and a walk since the innings. And finally, though, they have gotten themselves to a big lead. It is 10-5. We're into the 9th inning. Daryl Irvine is on the mound facing Kelly Gruber. Fouls one away. In that 8th inning, by the way, we left after Boggs flied out. Burks then struck out. Greenwell singled to right, and Dwight Evans hit into a force play. Those are the hitters we missed while we took you to Pittsburgh. Here's Gruber. He's had one of the great offers we've ever seen. He takes a strike.
Most productive offers, huh?
He is 0 for 3, but he has scored 3 runs, and he has gotten a run home on a ball he hit. Not given credit for any of that, except for the runs scored. That's a foul. 0-2 the count. He reached base, striking out on a wild pitch and scored. Walked and scored. And then he was safe on the Boggs error in the 7th inning, on which a run scored, and later he too scored again. He scored 3. Had a handed 4 runs, and he's 0 for 3.
Some of it came from just sheer hustle too, moving around on base hits, scoring on balls that were knocked down by infielders. He's a gamer.
The Blue Jays have 19 hits, and Gruber does not have any of them.
That's as a player, that's when you're really disappointed. See, guys get 4 hits, 3 hits, and I can't get 1.
Roger Clemens. When will he pitch again? Roger does not talk to the media when he's not pitching. So he did not talk to us today to tell us how he is feeling after this start yesterday through 93 pitches. Well, it's 3-2 now to Gruber. McGriff and Bell will follow. Well, Clemens would be on his proper rest if there was a playoff for Thursday. Boddicker would be on his proper rest for the season-ending game Wednesday against the White Sox, meaning 4 days of rest since the last start. On the right side, Marty Barrett throws out Gruber. Gruber is 0 for 4 today. Now Fred McGriff, who is 4 for 5 with 3 batted in. Blue Jays 10, Boston 5. Well, Toronto heading for Baltimore. Frank Robinson has adjusted his rotation a little bit. He's having a hard time finding any healthy arms this time of year. He's got a lot of young pitchers. A couple of them have tired arms. He has shut them down for the year. But he has 3 pitchers who have been pitching well lately. Jose Mesa and also Dave Johnson and Ben McDonald. He's got those 3 set to go with adequate rest against the Blue Jays the next 3 nights. Jeff Torborg's White Sox will come in here.
He did not adjust his rotation.
No.
He just used the guys as the way that, they were set up originally. And I wonder if that's completely right. Frank adjusted his for Toronto, and the other guys didn't adjust theirs for Boston. Matter for an argument.
Yeah, well, on the other hand, the White Sox are playing their final home games this weekend, the final games ever in Old Comiskey Park. They've got sellouts all through the weekend, and it's the hometown crowd. It seems that they're interested in catering to. Nice play by Burks, right at the wall, and he got it. It's the best hit ball of the day for Fred McGriff, and he does not get a hit on this one.
Well, the wind has died down ever so slightly. Now it picks up again. But it was a high fly ball in the left center field. McGriff is not sure if he got it. See the wind. You can see the flag wasn't blowing very hard at that time. Burks leaps up and makes a fine catch. Snow cone effect there. Watch, he times it perfectly and leaps up. I don't know if that should be called a catch or not. We might need an instant replay official on that.
Ball protruding from the
ball
edge of his glove
touched the wall. Yeah, we may need a instant replay, but I guess it's been 2 minutes already, so it's okay. Play can resume.
Listen, we don't even bring that up in this sport, Joe. George Bell, the hitter, 3 for 5 with 2 batted in, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. 10-5, Toronto ahead. By the way, you saw the padding out there in the wall. When Burks made his leap, he was going up against the padding, the lower wall. That goes back, there you see it, to the 1975 World Series that you played in, Joe. Line drive right to Boggs. That ends the inning. That's the best hit ball for George Bell today. So the Blue Jays will have to be content with 10 runs and 19 hits.